Welcome to Dominate, where we discuss strength and conditioning and much more. Brandon Farmer.
What's happening?
Monster in the business world, entrepreneur, multiple restaurants and other shit I don't even know about. But I hear you're here a griller. I know you for a long time because you were a client of mine. Still, I am a client of mine. Now you're a friend, graduated to friend status.
Consistent client of yours.
Yeah. I remember I met you how many fucking years ago, man?
I
think it was. Like,
I'll tell you, I remember how I was thinking about this on the drive here, how I got into LPS. I used to live at the Soho Hotel, and I remember our condo would look at, you'd have all the athletes, you're training PK before he was in a pro, before he went pro. And my roommate and I would just see you doing the sled pulls.
Josh, right?
Josh, right?
Yeah.
And he walked over, he's like, I got to check this place out. Like, these guys look like beasts over there. And I think we just walked over one day, and I'd never squatted in my life. I remember I couldn't even do my own body weight at the beginning, which was actually in the long run worked out because I think my form is phenomenal because I started from the base. But yeah, you and I worked really closely for a couple of years, got in shape, and I think over a decade later we became really good friends.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. When we first met, you thought I didn't like you.
A lot of
you were used to my style of training.
It was a lot of people say that. Yeah. It takes a little bit of time to get to know people. Really
but it's funny how we over the years, because you've been going ups and downs. You've been in the best shape of your life, and you've been in the worst shape of your life, and I've seen both sides. And what I'm interested in, and because we had a conversation, you're back on the grind, and you look like fucking Hollywood over here. Healthy and sharp and clean and good. And you mentioned 75 hard.
Yeah.
And then because we had a talk, and we're gonna get back on the grind in terms of training and structure. But you mentioned how 75 hard made a difference, and it was like one of the most. Hold on, let me just finish my thought. Like one of the most, and then you can clarify everything. One of the most, I wouldn't say fitness, but psychological fitness I would use in terms of just getting your shit back in order. Let me explain that for me.
Yeah.
Or clarify.
It's not a fitness challenge. And I think that, a lot of people misunderstand. There's an insane amount of fitness because I think fitness is the foundation for any kind of growth. But it builds insane discipline. And I think, you experienced this with me. You even made a joke once, like, I don't know why I haven't kicked you out of this fucking
Real
gym.
talk, man. Real talk.
You're like, you don't tolerate the shit in the gym.
Real talk.
Now working for 3 months, then disappearing for a month, and that's always been my problem. Everything. I'm a very extreme person, very passionate, very driven, but with this personality comes, it's like the stock market, up and down, and finding that everyone's easy to find balance. I don't think I can find balance, but I needed to learn how to control this energy that I have. I think that's what I needed to find. And with 75 hard, it built this discipline. So it breaks you down every fucking day. Like, in the beginning, I started off, every 2 weeks, I would elevate something throughout this journey. So in the beginning, I just got up and walked for 45 minutes, just get started.
So you didn't start it all right away.
Well,
you just chipped away at it.
My mistake is like going full tilt to something. What I was set out to do was do something long-term consistently. And that's where when I went into this, I was scared. I was like, there's no way I'm going to do it. And Fabian held me accountable to getting started, and that's all I needed. And I realized that, I'm very goal-oriented, and once I get started on something, I'm like tunnel vision. It's like I don't lose. And so I use that energy that I use towards my business, towards work, and put it finally into myself. And I just was determined after 2 weeks of committing to that everyday workout, drinking the water, following a diet, reading a book, that I was in. I was
paper book.
Paper book. Yes. And really dialed in, and I was determined to get at it and make these changes. And man, like there's a reason to call it 75 hard. I believe I went to war with my mind every single day. So even when I was running, I hate running like, more than anything. And I've built this love-hate relationship towards it. But I would, I'd be running and then that little voice in your head that would just like, okay, like you're tired, you're sore. That's your emotions comes out, and I feel like I should just walk for the rest of this, or I feel like I don't want to go for a run today, or I feel like I know it's cliche, but it's true. Like that, I call it the inner bitch. It's the Goggins inner bitch. Yeah. But I follow this shit, but I was listening to it. And he's like, listen to that voice, and it's true. It's that fucking thing that tells you to stop doing something, or you don't feel good, don't go to the gym. And so, and in this program, there is none of that. You don't have that opportunity. So you get up. I start out every morning to run, no matter what, 5:30 in the morning, and I just did it, and it was clockwork. And for me, I had to be on a program,
a routine.
Otherwise, I get fucked up. And so every day, I hated this for I think almost 2 months. I absolutely hated it. And then near the end of it is where things started really changing, and I started seeing these barriers go away, these voices going away, and then things became beautiful. But it was.
Let's explain 75 Hard, because I want to go back to asking so people don't understand what 75 Hard is. So this created by this guy Andy Frisella.
Yes.
Who I got introduced to. I never heard about this fucking guy anywhere, but I got introduced to him by this one of my stress therapists here, Kayla. Right? Yeah. She goes. You remind me of this guy, Andy Frisella. Have you ever? And I go, I don't know who the fuck he is, but anyway. And she told me about 75 Hard. And what it is, she says, you drink a gallon of water a day. You have 2 workouts a day, one inside, one indoors, one out. One must be outdoors. Yep. You can have 2 outdoors. Yep. You have to take a progress pic every day. Yep. The workouts have to be at least 45 minutes long.
Yeah. Pick a diet, any diet.
Oh yeah, pick a diet, any diet, and stick to it, right? And no alcohol.
No alcohol, no weed, no drugs.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing for me. When she said it, because I was, I like my little drinks here and there.
You like your tequila.
Yeah, I like my little drinks. So that was a challenge. I'm like, I'm like, whoa, I like that. You know what I mean? And I went at it, but like I'll tell you. But for me, when I did 75 Hard. I actually did it twice, by the way, right? And
you failed the first time.
Yeah, I failed the first time, and then
it has a 90% failure.
And then I went back and I just crushed it. But I did it when I said so. I started fucked up, right, on a stupid fucking taking a photo, missing a photo.
Yeah.
Reading is not a problem because I love reading, right? But anyway, get back. I want to know what was the most difficult part for you
out of all those things,
all the 75 for that program, and what was the most significant life change? So I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah, the alcohol wasn't the hard part for me. The weed. For the first, I'd say 2 weeks, it was really hard to go to sleep. Like I smoke weed every night before I go to bed. I don't smoke during the day, but like when I get home, when I close my laptop and I'm done, I like nothing more than just to smoke. Just even a couple of puffs of a joint. And it just relaxes me, it calms me down, I put on the TV and I pass out. So that was a huge habit I had to change from day one. And I had insomnia for the first 2 weeks. I couldn't sleep. And you can't take things like, you know what I mean? Like this isn't a program where you have to go through everything the hardest way. Right. So I had to go through a couple of weeks of not sleeping and then working out twice a day. And I had a Whoop band on at the time, and it was measuring my strain against my resting, and it was whacked. Like it was insane strain, the least amount of rest. Pushing my body at extremes. But I think it needed that. And once I got past that second week, I started getting so exhausted from all this working out and then also the lack of sleep that something flipped. And I started getting into a rhythm. So another thing too that we should talk about is sleep, and it's a really important part. But I started changing everything. I have a weighted blanket. I have a chili pad. I take magnesium. I don't look at my phone late at night. Like just 2 things that help. I had to start changing my habits to break that down. So in the beginning, the weed was the hardest thing for me to let go of and adapt.
So that was the most difficult part. So let's touch on sleep real quick. Or not real quick, because sleep is important. I have no problem falling asleep. I can sleep anywhere, anytime. But there's a lot of people that struggle with sleep. I can sleep. Only place I can't sleep on is a plane. But anywhere.
And funny enough, I can
sleep. I have no problem. And actually, that's one of my coaches, because my coach says I produce high testosterone because I can sleep so well, right? So
that's a big part of it.
What was the most, for you, what were the changes you did to help your sleep? Because since you couldn't depend on the weed anymore.
No, it took about a month Okay, biggest thing is obviously, and this I learned this from. I went to a seminar on this, and it was this guy said something like, "I spent $70,000 on sleep, and this is what I learned." And so he was like obsessed with breaking this problem. So the first thing is a weighted blanket. It just helps with putting pressure on your body.
I've never heard that weighted blanket.
Weighted blanket.
That's why I like heavy comforters.
It is, and it's basically someone hugging you, but it puts pressure on you. It helps your body calm down. Another thing that people don't know is you're actually supposed to sleep on a cool bed. So you're supposed to bring your body temperature down to like 68 degrees. So I have a chili pad. So it's basically a cold. It's a water blanket that sits underneath my sheets.
Okay.
And it brings my body temperature down too. It's like sleeping on a cold bed.
Oh wow!
But pretty like it gets.
I don't know if I like. I don't know.
I know it's weird because I'm the guy that loved a freezing cold room, huge blankets, and like going up in there. But you get used to it, and so once you get all these things working together, another thing too, I'm really bad at Instagram reels, like just it kind of calmed my mind. I used to think it calmed my mind down to fall asleep. It might help with the initial cracking the eyes and going to sleep, but you're just firing like steroids into your brain. So I wouldn't have deep REM sleep, and my mind would be going wild. And then I quit smoking weed, so I started getting crazy, like vivid dreams, nightmares. There's a whole thing that came along, but putting all these things in motion, not eating late at night, and not having bright lights too. Before you go to sleep, like 2 hours, like get your condo down to get your mind ready for sleep. So I got these like little lamps that you can see everything, but it's not bright lights. So you do all these things at once. You calm your thing down a couple hours before bed. You take your magnesium, your water. I drink a nice tea with honey. Get in my weighted blanket. Get in the ice chill. It sounds crazy, but I took all of these things together over consistent amount of time, and now like it's wild. I can just like I'm not as good as you, but I get in my bed and I fall asleep.
And how many hours you sleep for?
6 hours, but like
what time you go to bed?
4 before to like 6 to 7 hours, but if I'm very lucky. I go to bed now around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then I'm up around 5.
Nice. How you feel like
a new person. Like when I read the Whoop band and I get like 80% sleep, like that's just wild to me.
Amazing. So with 75 hard, what's the most I would say significant change in your life that 75 hard contributed to, or because of 75 hard? What would you say?
Everything. It broke down so many mental barriers. The discipline. Sorry, it's not one thing. That program works, and I think you and I talked about touching this before. It's not one specific thing about the program or the work. It's the whole combination. But for me, it's the discipline. Like I don't negotiate with myself anymore. I just get up and do things. You know, if I don't have something planned, I get up and run. If I have boxing now, I go and do that. I'm not doing 2 workouts a day anymore. That was just I'm not a 20-year-old athlete.
You don't have to be 20.
My body was.
It doesn't matter if you're 20. Just
22 days.
2 days.
7 days a week.
And then the second workout could be a walk.
I know, but I wasn't doing. I was doing running.
You were running and boxing. That's more intense.
I'm not.
Because the reason I like the 2 workouts is because we're made to move.
Yes.
Fucking sitting around, driving around all day, working out. Like it's amazing just going for a walk. How much better you feel, clear, and that's a workout. I just went for a walk yesterday. I was doing some scouting for hunting, but it's amazing how
moving your body every day.
Is amazing.
I mean, doing a workout every day is easy now. Like, I love it. If I don't work out or do something, whether it's a sauna, ice bath, or a full workout, I feel like shit.
So discipline amongst
everything. I get.
You don't negotiate it.
I love my sleep now. I don't negotiate. I don't tolerate even when I go out, I'm sneaking out the door at 11:15.
You look like a movie star, dog. You don't understand. I haven't seen this dude. It's night and day how you look.
Yeah, I feel
since the last time I saw you. Honestly,
it was. You know what? I was beat up for a few years. And I think why I started this was. We had COVID. My industry got hit. We all went through some tough times. Nobody's better than any other person. And I tried to come out of that rut so many times. I tried to, it was just, getting pounded so hard for those 3 years, then coming back and dealing with bouncing back and what it did to my career and what it did to our industry, and just surviving like day in and day out. Mix that in with your own personal problems and everything else. It wasn't being healthy. I wasn't eating properly. I was drinking too much, and it was just for too long. All these things were just catching up to me, and I was worn out. I was beat up. Like I was finally at a point where I was like, I consider myself pretty strong. I'm very good at picking myself up. You've seen that a million.
Exactly. I want to double down on that, because like for you, like, okay, Jim, you like to party, you like to have a good time, whatever, but you're a monster when it comes to business. You don't fuck around, from what I understand. Yeah. You're disciplined. You get at it. Yeah. So how could you get any better in that? Like, how could 75 hard or whatever you make that better? I personally want to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, well, my business partner always says, like, I'm operating at 50% of my talent when I'm not like this.
Okay.
Like I'm at 90 plus right now. Like other than your day week.
So the average, 50% for the average person, that's their 90%.
I take a lot of pride in like what I can do in a day's work or in a week's work, and you do that consistently every day, showing up every day, 7 days a week, firing on all cylinders. I mean, the world's yours. Like it's. I like. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what this next year brings. We have a lot of things, my partner and I, in the pipeline with our business and what we're going to do, and I need to be at this operating at this level.
That's so, like, what's up, baby. I love that. Yeah.
And just about LPS, man. This is my home. Like, this is like why I'm enjoying sitting here with you, and why I was so proud to come tell you that I did it. And I didn't want to. It was enough of the fucking promises. It was like I needed to come here when I was done, like the check mark. And when I knew that I was across the finish line, it was this is the place I always came back to as my home. Like, this is whenever I was not doing well, I came here. I started here. I'd come look at you. You'd fucking welcome me back in the gym, like, the son you never wanted to have. And we would get at it. We'd do workouts together. You'd talk to me. I came to you for some tough mental places. Now it's exciting to come back here in a good place. Not just coming here when I need to be brought back up. Now it's beast mode time. Like we have new goals we got to talk about after this thing.
And I want to say, like, I am who I am, all right? And so I'm pretty strict. I don't give a fuck who you are. I'm just, I'm a kind person, but I like to give people, but there's always something about you that never made me write you off or just close the door on you and say, fuck this guy ain't coming back in my gym. You know what I mean?
You get rid of people.
Yeah, right. So there's always something, because you're real. You weren't fake. You're real, and I can see you trying. Like, I can look into your eyes and see this guy needs this gym.
I wanted it, and it's just like I didn't know how to get there.
Yeah, and it's funny, like, I haven't seen you for months, and all of a sudden I give you a shout. And a lot of times I give you a shout is when you were at.
You would know.
It's kind of weird. Yeah, like you're at a low point or what something. Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a while. You had this sense of like something's not up, and it would be the perfect time for that message.
Yeah, that's crazy how that works. Yeah.
Show up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. Just the two major things that I got from it, honestly. And another thing I'll leave to you. I mean, obviously being in this healthy position, all my relationships with my family, my friends, I've reconnected with some people that. I just lost touch with, just not being in the right place. So everything's starting to really come full circle, and I'm just happy, man. I've never sat here really comfortable with my skin, where I'm very confident right now. I'm very happy, like on all ends, and like not surface level. That you see on Instagram and all the things. Like I'm in a place of like complete confidence. I'm okay being alone. I'm single right now. It's the first time I'm able to go home and just be at peace with myself. So I'm in a good place.
You got this energy, babe. You got this confidence. You got this energy. You got it's real. And you said with 75 hard, the biggest thing for me, I consider myself I'm an extremely disciplined person. Yeah. But I took 75 hard as a challenge, and what screwed me, I messed up. I did it twice, and I realized no matter what, you got to go out for a second walk, or a second exercise. So I walked, right? Yeah. But that walk. Rain, snow, it made a huge connection with my kids and my family. Yeah, that was one of the biggest takeaways for me, because I got to spend more time. I would take them on the walk with me, my wife, and so I'm actually trying to get my wife to do 75 hard right now.
Yeah.
And for me, I would say, yeah, discipline. It just, I went out, I did 75 hard twice. Like I failed the first time because stupid picture, but did it twice just because I loved it. And it helped me stop drinking alcohol. So that was the biggest thing. That was the biggest, it helped me stop drinking, like period.
Yeah.
And then, you know, got my back in that mental fitness, and it makes you feel like a fucking monster, dog. It makes
crazy.
you feel
Once you
like,
pass that.
yeah, it makes you feel like, yo, I can do anything, and you're on a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
And
Trance almost.
it's exactly. And then I did Live Hard.
Okay, tell me about this. I don't even know what this is. And
Okay,
I know it's,
Live Hard is 30 days, right? So there's Live Hard. I might be messing up, but there's Live Hard 1, and then there's Live Hard kind of 2, 30 days to complete the whole Live Hard. So Live Hard, you got to have like a power list, cold showers. So everything you do in 75 hard, just a couple extra stuff. So
same rules, but it's
same rules, but they added cold showers, and you have to do a power list. And I think I'm forgetting one
power list.
Like so you have a power list of 5 things.
Yeah.
3 to 5 things that you have to do every day.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
There's like a routine.
Like a critical list that's gonna drive. The list is a critical list that's gonna drive your business forward.
Yeah. Okay.
So whatever that may be, sales, talking to somebody, whatever.
Okay. So it's more driven career.
It's more career driven, and that's the part of it. But for me, it's the cold showers that fuck me up.
Listen,
Yo, those cold showers, bruh. I failed. It took me 30 days, like a whole 30 days.
How long do you got to do
complete? It took me 2 months to complete 30
How long do you have
days.
to do the shower?
5 minutes.
That's not easy.
Yo.
It's not easy. I do ice baths every day, and I'll tell you one thing. I would do an ice bath over a shower. I hate the cold shower. It's like
What?
pebbles hitting you. Like I'd rather just get in, you're submerged, you get it over with. You go.
I'm from the tropics, man. I'm Jamaican, man. I'm born in Jamaica. That was the toughest thing I had to
Your
do.
wife just hears you screaming every morning, I guess.
No, I actually do the gym.
Oh, do they?
So I kind of cheat at the gym because the shower at the gym is not as cold as at home. But it's cold.
You know,
it's cold.
so
it's always. But Sunday at home, I had to do it at home.
Yeah.
But after a while, you start getting to the groove. But damn, it took me. I would sit there and just watch, like, you know, first, and then I get impatient because you already you soap up. And then you kind of gradually, but I'm an impatient person, so I just started jumping in that motherfucker right away, soaping up in that cold.
You do your full. You may as well just get it.
Yeah, that's it. Because it takes longer.
Yeah, that's right.
You know.
It doesn't feel as long as you're doing something. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that was tough for me. But for me, the biggest thing for me was, you know, mental clarity, discipline, given. But the connection I had with my family was much more. I didn't realize, you know, just those little.
You're more present.
I'm more present.
Yeah.
That was it.
I noticed that too.
More present. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. The thing is about the beautiful thing about this thing is, like, you have to be with every emotion without taking anything or doing anything to make yourself feel better. You know, like, you can't, even when you're excited, when you're sad, even when you feel like shit, like, you're not allowed to do anything to, you know, make that pain go away. You gotta live with that shit. You gotta learn how to live with that. And I think that's the biggest thing I learned, because my emotions always, I'm a very emotional person. So that would get the best of me. You know, let's go out and have some drinks and just wash it, that fucking, push that down a little.
One thing you mentioned, I want to get back to you. You were talking about how you would go to bed and you thought in your head that scrolling through, you know, going to social media, would kind of help calm you down before you go to bed. It was actually reverse.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit.
Well, what I learned was, like, just even about the bright lights before you go to sleep. Just, you have to, like, you know, the one rule too, when you wake up, you're supposed to, depending on how early you wake up, you're supposed to go and hit the sun or hit the light right away for, you know, the first hour within waking up. It sets your rhythms so that your brain knows that your day has started and then it needs to shut down at a certain point. So if you think about that, and then you think about when you're trying to wind that clock down, and you bring all the lights down, and you keep things, you know, try not to watch too much TV, read a book, do some certain things that are not with constant stimulation, right? And with with Instagram Reels, like it's bad. Like I'm ADHD, and this thing is like my shit. It's like it giving me drugs. So you're just flipping there. So your mind is constantly triggering. So it's firing up your mind. And now, whether that tires your brain out just to close your eyes, it's your mind is. It's like I don't know how to give it an analogy, but imagine just like a wheel on a bearings like this, and then the tire stops. It just keeps going. You know what I mean? Even though the car moves,
it's addictive. It gives you dopamine. It enhances.
There's no secret that phones are insane. I now I've been buried in work for the last month, but I literally just put my phone. I can't even have my phone beside me. I have to put it like on the other table, and then I sit down and I do my work. And I don't respond to people as much as I did before. I'm not as accessible. Like when I sit down and do work, I sit down and do work because when I realize I'm getting nothing done. I would walk around in circles, just like, what the fuck am I doing right now? Because I'm so spiraling out of control. My mind's thinking 100 miles an hour. My phone is just adding to it and keeping that thing going. So, I mean, phones are terrible. We all know that. I know you hate phones. I know you want them. You know what you want to get to. I laughed when I came in here and you finally made the rule: no phones in the gym. You fucking yell at me. You yell at everybody. I agree. You know.
Listen, man. I'm in the performance business.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been paying attention, watching this for years. I'm a pretty disciplined person. I haven't been on social media or whatever, not me personally, for maybe 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And one time I was sitting in the park with my kids, and they're in the park, and I'm on, what hit me is like these kids are, they're playing and doing their thing, and I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or I'm on Facebook.
You're not even there with them.
I'm not even there with them.
Yeah.
That hit me so hard. And then I got off. I said, okay, I'm gonna get off for a while. Then I'll go back and do a little bit sparingly. Did that. But before you know it, I'm there back scrolling.
Yeah.
So it hit me. And Brandon, I'm a disciplined motherfucker. When I put my mind in something, I get that shit done.
Yeah.
So it really hit me hard. I said, if this is giving me problems, imagine these kids who are not as developed as us. Yeah. And I'm watching the gym and I see these kids and the adults and whatever on their phone, and they're supposed to be focusing on their training.
Yeah.
I start to experiment, putting my phone away, turning off my, I didn't even know how to turn off the freaking, whatever, but I just put my phone in another room and all that stuff, and started to just really have focus periods of time, and only, because a lot of people hate me because I don't answer the phone. Well, I'm fucking working, or I'm studying, or I'm whatever I'm doing, and I try to have concentrated times to get back to people or call them back or check my messages. I'm not perfect, and I still, this is not even social media. It's just the bloody phone. Being a slave to a call, being a slave to an email, being a slave to that I really start to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And when you said that in terms of once I control that, the amount of shit I get done is crazy.
It's wild.
The production is, because your mental focus is on that task and you are exponentially faster. That's one of the reasons why eventually we decided to get the phones out of the gym, even though we have the programs on the apps.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't like it at the beginning, but everyone
after
they love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
now.
I mean, if you think about concentration, right, and how long it takes if you're doing something, someone distracts you and pulls your attention away from something, how long it takes to get back to what you're doing, into that, like, so not back to like looking at your paper, dialed back into that thought, that deep thought, or whatever it is that you're working on, how much that screws you up. That's why, when you're getting work done, the best thing to do is block off, like time management, is block off time where everything is off except for whatever you're working on. Multitasking, I have a love-hate relationship with that word. But it's bullshit. Like, if you,
I agree.
It is. Yes, you can have your attention to a lot of different things, but you're not actually focused on anything. And if you think about, another thing I stopped doing too is looking at my phone first thing in the morning. So if you want to talk about routines, but it's because what I realized that if I woke up in the morning, and there's a bunch of different reasons. I looked at my phone, I was already on that drug reel. it would fuck up my concentration for half the day. Like I would go in that ADHD, I just would be walking around, putting things on counter, not know what I'm doing, and like I can't even stop. At some points I couldn't even stop. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing 1,000 things of nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you forget your keys, you forget your jacket, you forget this, because you're not present on what you're doing. And it starts with how your mind wakes up in the morning and how it goes to bed. And I think that's so important.
So
but
what
I
I'm
think with your gym, if every time you get off your phone, you go on your phone and you think about something other than the gym, by the time you get back to that workout, you're not. That's why what you're talking about. You're not here. You're not focused on what you're doing. You're not thinking about that next set. You're not thinking about why you're here. You're just using that to kill time.
Or you're distracted, and just like you said, like no matter when you lose that distraction,
yes,
it takes a little. When something's on your mind, we're human. You get a bad call, you get a bad message. Your agent calls you with something stupid or pisses you off with something personal. Your mind is there, it's not here.
Yeah.
Right? And it takes you a little while to get back. So you're fighting yourself. It's very powerful. I'm part of this 430 group. We go like Mensa, Wayne, Fabian, Alan. So we get up. It's not about before we started. It was like getting up 4:30 in the morning because that's my power. I love to get up 4:30 in the morning, right? And I get shit done.
We have half a day before people wake up.
Yeah, I'm a monster.
Beautiful, man.
It's not like I like getting up 4:30 in the morning, but I know when I get up 4:30, I get so much done because there's no distractions. And what happened was, it's so much of a monster. Piggybacking off of like 75 hard, I started this thing called Savage 80. Savage 80 is just you focus on one thing. You find out what the hardest thing is, what the thing is that gets you most productive for whatever you need to be done. For me,
and don't negotiate.
And negotiate. You get up 4:30 in the morning, and you have to do it for 80. You got to do it for 80 days straight. It's called Savage 80. The toughest thing is, I've been fucking up.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'll go hard for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but you miss one day, just like 75 hard, you got to start all over again, which is I didn't realize like how hard that is. Yeah. But going back to the distraction within the 430 group, we're up and I'd see the messages of whatever the guys are up in the morning or.
4:30 group is like a 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. So guys would get up 4:30, but now like nobody, or I'll check the messages before. But my point is, I would go and check that group, say, yo, what's up? What's good? How's your day going? What you got planned for the day? But me doing
that's not a good idea.
Exactly.
Terrible idea.
It distracted me from my tasks I had to do. So what I start.
That support system, man.
But
check in at 12.
Now I check in later, and that even makes me way more productive now. So I don't even check in or check the group till later on in the day when I've done my shit, and I feel so much more productive. I feel so much more focused. But what I'm trying to say is that's another level of focus. Yeah. Because you focusing, and the people underestimate how important and how the value of concentration. My goal is to master the art of eliminating distractions. Yeah. I want to master the art of focus. You know why? Because that's going to make me better.
I'm with you. As a program, actually, I'll tell you about it after. It's too much to dive into right now. But I set some new goals for next year. A big one of one of them is really dialing this focus and learning how to channel different wavelengths of your brain capacity, depending on what you're doing. Because there's times you need to be on your alpha, beta state, and all those different things. And I'll share it with you after. But no, you nailed it. I think the last thing, the biggest thing too for me was my morning routine. Really sticking to that and how much that changes your day. Yeah, man. Getting up in the morning, first thing to do is make my bed. Like without fail, it's just clockwork. Get up, make your bed. It just takes 2 seconds. It makes everything in your room just look clean, and it's the night. There's no chaos. I go and I sit down and do a 10-minute meditation, 15 minutes. I have a roller, stretch out, and this is all before. So it's a rule of like 3 things before you even brush your teeth. And no, sorry, do not look at your phone.
So in Live Hard, there's meditation too. The second, and that was tough for me. Yeah. I didn't realize how tough. I didn't realize how tough meditation. I'm not really a meditation dude, type of person, and whatever. That doesn't really. but and I didn't realize how hard sitting down there and meditating for 5-10 minutes is in terms of building your focus.
Control. It's
crazy.
Slowing down to speed up. But and you and I have the same problem. Like I used to get anxiety when it started because it's like I'm up, I'm feeling good, started my day properly, I've done my routines. Why do I have to do this right now?
Right.
Like I'm ready for action.
Or whatever.
Like holding that beast.
But I understand that.
Like with the gym, like think about things you do here. I watch you do. You know, there's days you see people that want to push it hard, and you have to stop them.
Yeah, facts.
Right. You gotta pull them back. And that was one thing I always appreciate you a lot. Is even days I was in here, I was feeling good. I'm like, I want to hit my max day. And you would see somebody like, you're not ready. Today's not your day. Fucking take that off. Take that weight off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but it's also about pulling yourself back because you that beast is there, but how do you control it? It's about how you start your day.
Yeah.
You know, so that's I think if you pull all these things we learn and you adapt or you put in all your different parts of your life, I think
that's something I want to learn more.
Yeah.
Or dive into or focus. Like I'm big on vision, but it's not the same as meditating.
Yeah.
Like I'm big on manifesting. Yes. I'm big on manifesting.
Yeah, it's very
but
it's very real.
Right, so I love manifesting, right? Because I manifest this motherfucker right here, like this gym right here. Now I'm manifesting bigger things. So, but like I don't understand all the other stuff, but there's a connection to meditation.
It is, and I have some of the things. I have some goals and some things that what you do is you write it out. So you have to use meditation to calm your mind, but then you focus on whatever that thing is that you want to manifest in your life. And first thing in the morning, this is part of my morning routine and the prayers and the gratitude and all this stuff. I have something written out that sits in my bed, beside my bed, that I think in my head while I'm meditating. I visualize it, I read it, I get my brain to see. You need your subconscious mind to believe this. And you do it twice a day, every single day. So before I go to bed, so first thing in the morning, I think about what this is and I'm manifesting what this I want the next chapter of my life to look like. And then before I go to sleep, every single day. And I do this through meditation, through reading it, and make it part of my morning routine, every single and closing routine.
I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's real. And you just start. You gotta get your brain.
I love to write. I write all the time. I journal.
Your conscious mind wants it.
Yeah.
Does your subconscious mind want it? Does it believe it?
Yeah.
Does it believe it's gonna happen?
I'm gonna take that.
Fears out of there.
I'm gonna implement that. Well, man, listen, man. For us, dominate is a huge thing in terms of like we believe in dominate, right? Yeah. So and a lot of people, everyone has their own interpretation of dominate.
Yep.
So I want to understand when I say dominate, what does that mean to you, Bren?
Be in control of your mind. That's it.
That was easy. That was simple.